Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our entertainment and pop culture segment brought to you by Romulus Entertainment, today we're featuring my dear friend, actor, producer, and influencer, Lorenzo Antonucci. Antonucci wrapped Darkness of Man back in January, and that was starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. He also recently came off of his production on location in Georgia on his directorial debut Unfelt, starring Timothy Murphy, Carmel Bortoletti, and Parsha Coleman. Now, his film credits include White Elephant, Deadlock, The Free Fall, and motion picture. He executive produced Paradise City, starring Bruce Willis and John Travolta. That's on the film side. His television credits include Paradise City, Ballers, and of course Game of Thrones, very popular there. Today we're chatting career, Bruce Willis, and Hollywood's aggressive cancel culture. Now, working in the age of cancel culture and wokeism under the influence of social media definitely ain't easy. And cancel culture and wokeism have become prominent topics in recent years, particularly within the entertainment industry. The rise of cancel culture and wokeism has undeniably had a significant impact on Hollywood. And the industry, which has traditionally been known for pushing boundaries and challenging societal norms, now finds itself grappling with heightened sensitivities and an increased demand for accountability. Filmmakers, actors, and most industry professionals navigate a delicate balance between creative expression and avoiding potential backlash. It's definitely a challenging landscape for those in the industry at this moment. Here to give us insight and perspective is the amazing Lorenzo Antonucci. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Hey, thanks for having me, Zen. I appreciate the invitation in our wonderful, beautiful city, New York City, the best city in the globe.
Absolutely. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, as they say. Now, you know this better than anyone else, right? Tell us about your journey into acting and how you first discovered your passion for the craft.
Wow. I started as a musician. I was in a band called Sworn Enemy. We were out of New York, and we signed to Elektra Records. Long story long. That went for 10 years, and then I got into the entertainment side of, the acting side by trying to get into the WWE as a wrestler. So when I was trying to do wrestling, because I had long hair and I was like 250 pounds of I guess, muscle, I tried to get into the game of being a WWE superstar, but that didn't happen. And I got into the acting and producing shortly after, around 2014, and it's been just a wonderful journey learning the craft and
And working with some of the most incredible, talented actors out there. And I see you on social media. You have quite the entourage. You're always at the most incredible parties and the red carpet events, and you're definitely doing your thing and getting yourself out there, and lots of networking and social media, of course, plays a huge role. In this particular case, I'll sway to the question that social media has undoubtedly become a powerful force in sharing public opinion and exerting influence on the entertainment industry. How do you manage to avoid the drama and remain gracefully employed, Lorenzo?
I manage it by just being a good human. I mean, I don't have anything to hide. I'm just, I'm pretty fair game. I want everybody to win. Everybody's, deserves a shot, and working hard and being just good, working with good intentions is all that I can ever ask for in any human or just in myself. And that's what drives me, and being motivated by all the people that I'm around. And I'm blessed to be around, and all my dear friends that are just crushing the game, that are my, people that I look up to. Just keeps me going. It keeps me driving.
Yeah, and Hollywood's not an easy town, and it's not an easy place to keep friendships. It's not an easy place to make meaningful relationships. It's one of those eat or be eaten kind of scenarios. It's definitely a jungle out there, but you have to remain graceful, and you have to your point, remain humble to the craft and to the industry, and have good relationships and a great work ethic. And we know that platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok now allow for rapid dissemination of information and opinions. In the context of cancel culture, social media has the ability to amplify controversies and, of course, fuel public outrage within a matter of hours or even minutes. So as a result, individuals and companies often find themselves under intense scrutiny and pressure to conform to popular narratives. So it's not easy to stay liked at this point in time. Now, given the influence of social media, How do professionals in Hollywood, would you say, adapt their strategies to appeal to this online audience, but also staying true to the artistic vision?
Yeah, it's tricky. I would think that you got to adapt and know the lane you're in and proceed with precaution because it's a sensitive time and if people have a right to for their opinions and they have a right to do what they want to do and everybody has a fair shot. So I think it's just a matter of really being aware, self-aware of what you say and just being, speak from the heart. And I think if you got all good intentions, everything comes out in the wash anyway. I don't think that you're going to have any. I mean, I know that there's backlash on everything. I know it's hard to navigate around what is right and wrong nowadays. So
yeah, it's a delicate balance.
It's so delicate.
Yeah, and on one hand, engaging with social media is really essential at this point in time for connecting with audience and promoting your projects and building personal brands. A lot of professionals in Hollywood actively use social media to express their views and engage with fans and address controversies, but there's always a risk of, misinterpretation or to your point, backlash. So careful consideration is necessary when you're navigating these online spaces, especially as an actor and as a performer and as somebody that's, public figure. And some individuals and even studios have even implemented strategies to anticipate and manage potential controversies before they even escalate. They have like entire damage control departments. So it's definitely something to look out for. Now, what has been your most memorable role to date, and why would you say it's memorable?
Wow. Well, I mean, I've played a lot of cops, a lot of militia or military guys, but I did play a character which was not an easy character to pull from. I played a short movie called Cracker that we did in 2018. That I played a white supremacist.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I was thrust back in time, and all the African Americans were the rulers of the world, and the whites were the slaves. So we flipped the world on that, and we just wanted to show the perspective of what it's like for, what they went through as slaves, but now you've seen it through their lens,
Interesting narrative. Yeah. And flipping the narrative is important because that's what allows you to give these perspectives and allow the creative vision to just give people insight from really just, insight from perspective that would have never been told otherwise. So it's great that you did that, socially active and proactive in that, right? Kudos to you. Now, it's clear that walking the tightrope, so to speak, between artistic expression and appeasing, audiences is no easy task. What has been the biggest challenge you have faced in your acting career, and how would you say you overcame it?
I think the biggest challenge is just getting a job. That's the biggest challenge.
Hello.
Yeah, it's like, I think the biggest challenge is always, choosing the right job that you're offered. If you're lucky to get one, and to be smart with the moves you make, and always, I think they're all challenging. I think that they're all, different ways of challenges. I think that there's just so many different, it's at the end of the day, it's all a grind. But if you love this, you got to just deal with all the challenges. I think my biggest challenge was pretty much, getting the door slammed in my face every time, or getting a role and you get excited and you get cut out, or half your stuff gets cuts out, like those are the biggest challenges to deal with. Or you're this close to getting something and you don't get it, or there are all so many challenges. I just think that you're lucky when you're working. And if you can make a living doing this, God bless you, because this is the toughest, hardest, thankless business in any industry.
You're right.
This is the hardest.
You're right. Staying employed in general, that's no easy feat in Hollywood these days. Now, but you've been doing a great job. So you have stayed afloat and you're very well liked. You're very well liked. People, are drawn to you. You're charismatic. You have that it factor, and you maintain your relationships close to you. So it's important. Now, if you could look at your career in retrospect, and even projecting into the future, are there any dream roles or projects that you have yet to tackle but would love to?
Two, I would love to play a war hero in a World War II film. That would be like one of my, because so a lot of my favorite movies are war movies, and I would love to just be in like Marvel, something like a massive role in Marvel. Like those would be great, because I mean everything else I'm pretty much, you know.
So we'll channel Frank Grillo for a moment.
All right.
We'll channel our friend Frank.
Shout out to Frank.
Big shout out
Love
to
Frank.
Grillo, our brother listening out there. Now, can you share any interesting or funny behind the scenes stories from your experiences on set?
Wow. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. Well, I do have an interesting one to the late Tom Sizemore. You know, we were shooting a pilot, and he's so amazing as an actor. I mean, I've never seen nothing like this in my life. And he was just running around with he wanted a pitcher of like a glass pitcher where you get a mug of beer. He wanted it full with coffee, and he got it in his hand, and he's delivering lines, and he's walking around. He's doing his after blocking. He's shooting, blah 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 blah. He falls and trips over the cables. He smashes his hand with the actual pint of glass, and he cuts his whole hand open.
Oh my God.
Rush to the hospital. We're still shooting. We have to shoot all the coverage of this dinner scene, like at a table that we're at right now. He's at the hospital getting stitched up. When we go to his coverage, he's right back at the table delivering the best moment, and he had 11 stitches in his arm.
Oh my goodness.
That was a crazy, I mean, that's rest in peace, Tom. It was amazing working with him in that moment, and he played my dad. So he's
a real professional.
Yeah, and brilliant actor, but I mean, just the wow he just was like, screaming, it's bloody everywhere, and he just gets rushed to the hospital with the whole crew, and everybody's like, what do we do? What do we do? I was like, we just shoot our coverage. Everybody, get our coverage for the dinner scene. And then by the time we were ready for him, he was sat down. He had a bandage, like a huge cast, and they wrapped it up with the green tape for green screen for VFX, visual effects for those that don't understand VFX. And it worked out.
Amazing. That's a great story. All right. Well, rest in peace, Tom Sizemore.
Rest in peace, buddy.
Now, what, I guess if you can, we have one more question here, or maybe two. We have about a minute and a half. But what has been the most rewarding aspect of your acting career this far?
Wow. Being able to work with the greats, or being around some of the biggest legends of all time.
Okay, let's segue to Bruce Willis. We're going to shout him out now because he's an incredible actor, and what's happened to his health recently is so devastating, and I wish it on nobody, because having your memory stripped from you is probably the biggest fear I have. Now, what was it like working with him?
I mean, I did 4 movies with him, and he's a sweet man, and it's sad with what him and his family's going through. And I mean, he's just a Jersey dude. I mean,
and a great talent.
I mean, he's phenomenal, right, for his legacy. But I mean, he was just like a regular guy like us, like he always gave me love. He always showed me love. He was always smile when he see me. He was always, even if I bumped into him at Moro's, he'd be like, get up and shake my hand and say hi. But working with him was legendary. Detective Night, Independence is the one.
Beautiful.
I have a lot.
So you definitely work with our boy Johnny Mesner out there for sure.
Love Johnny. Johnny's my brother. Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny's family to us. Well, listen. Any sneak peeks into upcoming projects or roles that you're taking on?
Yeah. Well, I just directed a movie called Unfelt. It's hopefully that'll be out in the end of 2023 or beginning of 24. And I am getting ready to prep another movie I'm going to direct, Arch Enemy. And that's in the early phases. I just did NCIS LA, the last episode ever with LL and LL Cool J, and it was the CBS last episode.
Hustling?
Yeah, that was the last episode ever. So it was a Randy Couture. It was awesome. Jay, man, everybody was awesome to work with on that show, and shout out to everybody at CBS and NCIS LA. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that. Just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. You are
Thank
amazing.
you for having me.
Thank you for chatting with me and giving some perspective into your incredible life. And you've had a blessed career, and I wish you luck, and please continue to keep us updated. And we're big fans over here at WOR.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Take care.
That was Lorenzo Antonucci. Definitely check out his website at AntonucciPictures.com, or you could head directly on the gram and check him out at Lorenzo Antonucci JR. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.